Welcome to the Signature Motors podcast, and today we're discussing all things subscription. We're seeing a general trend today where people are moving from ownership to access specifically. Today, it is a lot easier for people to access that mobility through means of a subscription, which is really just a word for rental.
It's normally people that can't get the normal finance through the normal big banks. This is an alternative finance.
Vehicle subscriptions, I really do think are a way that we're seeing the economy moving forward.
I think it's very important when you buy a car, make sure you can afford it. Because you sometimes want to buy car A, but car B suit your pocket better.
Yeah.
Keegan, subscriptions are everywhere. Why cars?
Look, Wilfred, honestly, I think we're seeing a general trend today where people are moving from ownership to access specifically. Today, it is a lot easier for people to access that mobility through means of a subscription, which is really just a word for rental, really, instead of having to go the conventional finance route. So vehicle subscriptions, I really do think are a way that we're seeing the economy moving forward. I've also recently seen people offer coffee subscriptions. So I think the automotive trade, the industry in general, has made a really smart move, jumping on the bandwagon here and offering subscriptions.
So Keegan, for somebody new, why cars subscriptions? What's the difference between that and the finance?
Look, that's a great question, Rob. Conventional finance leads to ownership, and this is a really important distinction that we need to make. Oftentimes, in the words that we see used today for advertising, rent to buy and rent to own are often used. We don't use that terminology simply because it's confusing. Rent to buy means it is rent with the option to buy. Rent to own means it is rent with the option to own. Your conventional finance leads to ownership, whereas a subscription gives you the option for ownership. Does that make more sense?
That does.
Awesome.
But now with financial pressure and creates uncertainty, but there remains the need to be mobile. Lifestyle shifts, subscription reduces risk while keeping people moving. What does that mean? What are we talking about there?
Well, I think, again, our South African economy today dictates that you need to have a car. You need to be mobile. We don't necessarily have the public transport that's reliable, that is efficient, that is effective for a vast majority of the population. So we need to have cars today. In South Africa, you need a car to live your life. And if with the financial pressure, for example, with COVID a couple of years back, a lot of people don't necessarily have the means to comply with the requirements for conventional finance. So a vehicle subscription is a great alternative to that.
If you're talking about vehicle subscription, I think it's normally people that can't get the normal finance through the normal big banks. This is an alternative finance. Say, for example, he's got a bad doctor's account and he's got a IT problem. This is where vehicle subscriptions come in. Am I right?
Beautifully said. Absolutely.
So that gives an opportunity for customers that can't get finance through the normal big banks to go to vehicle subscriptions. That, to me, is a bit more expensive, but what does it include?
So, again, great point. Oftentimes when you take an installment on its own versus a rental fee, a subscription, the subscription looks a lot more expensive. And let's unpack as to why. Firstly, your rental subscriptions include a whole bunch of things that your conventional finance installment is not going to include. So your insurance is included. Really good mechanical warranty is included. Your tracker, What was the other
License
one?
and
Rob?
registrations included.
License and registration. There was one more. Oh, roadside assistance.
Roadside assistance.
Yes.
Tracker. The difference that I know, because I've done a lot of Flexi's deals. At that time it was a rent to own. That's now obviously changed to vehicle subscription. So the difference is that I know it's only between 1,000 and 1,500 rand more. That's nothing, but you get all the stuff in. So even if you go and get it out there with a finance deal, you kind of for the boat. But you must understand, for the person that cannot get finance, you unfortunately have to now pay a little bit more. Do you want to have a third class ride or a first class walk? It's the call you got to make.
Right.
So I understand, pay a little bit more, get it. Fortunately, I understand on a lot of people are after COVID, of the financial issues and situations that's gone. It wasn't everybody's fault that they've gone into that situation. But unfortunately, if you're in that situation, you need to get around. And I always say to clients that using a taxi, using a bus, using a train, using a lift, getting Uber, getting that, all costs. If you go and look at using an Uber for a month, to get to work and back, you're paying more than what you just get this vehicle subscription.
Absolutely.
And I mean, it's, yeah, so if basically you're renting a car for 2 years. That's what it is.
Yeah.
In normal terms, to say to someone, it's like renting your DSTV, renting a phone. You know, it's all rented. At the time comes, that's what it is. But that's where everybody's going. It is, unfortunately.
Yeah. And you know, just something to add there, you know, again, when you're comparing apples with apples, you need to compare the term with the term as well, because that's a big deal there. A lot of people compare conventional finance of 5-6 years with a residual, and that installment is then compared to a 2-year lease. Obviously, it's not comparing apples with apples. As you said, Rob, you know, mobility really is the way going forward, and access over ownership today.
I also understand that your first car will probably not your first choice.
Correct.
But that's probably what you can afford.
Correct.
But if you pay that car for 6 or 8 or 12 months, you can come back and you can swap it for another rent to another subscription.
Yes. So that's an awesome point there. Flexi have the option that after 6 months of your lease agreement, your rental agreement, you are allowed to either upgrade or downgrade, provided that you have kept up with your payments, that you're a good paying customer. You are allowed that upgrade or downgrade. And I believe, I stand to be corrected, but I believe you have 3 upgrades or downgrades in your 2-year time period. So this is really, you know, catered to you. It really gives you the opportunity to cater your vehicle to your specific lifestyle and what your lifestyle looks like at that moment. Another thing that the rentals do is that it gives you the opportunity, if your credit score is low, with regular payments, it gives you the opportunity to build up that score again, because you are a good paying customer, you're paying your bills on time, and that all leads to an increased and an improved credit score.
What I want to ask you, and apparently I think on a correction, if you go back after a year, you won't need to pay another deposit. That's correct?
2 years.
2 years.
So if you have,
Yes.
if you have completed your 2-year agreement, and you want to continue for another 2 years, you can get access to another vehicle without an initial rental. What the term deposit is now just called the initial rental.
Yeah, initial rental.
Yes.
Sorry, yeah, it's a renaming because of what
Yes.
you're doing. Deposit falls more on a financial deal.
Yes.
But also, can you have a subscription on the same vehicle again for 2 years?
Yes.
Or do you have to go to another vehicle?
No, it's completely up to you, and I think that's what's really cool. It caters to you, what you need, your choice. It really puts the autonomy back in the driver's seat, if you will.
Correct. So let's ask the question, what vehicles do I get? Can I get a double cab? Can I get a Mercedes? Can I get a BMW? Sorry, a Jeep.
Right.
What vehicle, or am I just getting on the lower level of entry level of 150,000, or can I go higher? That's the question a lot of people need to ask.
I mean, beautiful question. The wonderful thing is the company that we use called Flexi Drive. as long as it is for personal use. And this is a very important distinction, not business use. So single cab buckies are out. Big buses, taxis, 7-seaters, any sort of Uber, Bolt, completely out. This is a subscription to help you as the individual go from point A to point B. This is not a passenger sort of scenario. But any vehicle that is younger than 10 years, so 10 years is the max, and you're looking at an absolute cap of 160,000 kilometers. We also do need a full service history. But those are sort of the parameters that we can do. Essentially, most of our stock here, we can assist you with a subscription on that.
Obviously, it's got to be service history, as you said. That.
Yes, I said full service history, yes, sir.
Full service history.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So, again, you have so many choices, and this is the drive behind the subscriptions. You are the driver, therefore you also get to drive the deal. And I think that's really cool.
So what is the percentage, if I may ask, of financeable people nowadays and what's cannot finance? Do you have an idea of that?
Rob, I do. Don't quote me, but the last figure I heard was 80%. 80%.
80% of people that cannot get finance on vehicles.
Yeah.
And again, we say it's not due to them. There was a lot of situations from COVID that came in.
Yeah.
We put a lot of financial strain on a lot of people. Unfortunately, we just put them in a situation. But at least here's something for you to get a vehicle so you know and all of that.
Yeah.
You take your kids to school. You don't have to let them walk in the rain. So this is where it is.
For sure.
Okay, my question, probably the last question, is how do you qualify to get one of these cars? You probably need to have some sort of deposit.
Yes. So I want to go as far as saying 99% of the time, you will be required to have a cash deposit, or deposit meaning initial rental fee. That is going to be dependent on your profile. So we're going to need a normal application process, 3 months bank statements, 3 months pay slips. We're going to need you to complete an actual application, ID, drivers, also your driver's license can't have been recently. It needs to be at least a year. So you need to have had your driver's license for at least a year in order to qualify to apply for the subscription. And yes, that's basically the process. The actual installment, the actual initial rental or deposit, that's going to be calculated based on you as an individual, as well as your vehicle. Your vehicle that you choose is going to have a certain scoring, as well as you as the individual. You're also going to have a individual score. So I'm not able to really give you an exact amount of installment and deposit until you can apply, and I can give you the exact figures thereafter.
So you're going to get a minimum deposit to qualify. But if you want to give more, your installment will go down. As easy as that.
Yes.
That includes your insurance, your tracking. Your car will be serviced before we deliver it. Car need to have a spare key. Those small things will be in place. That's correct.
Absolutely, yes.
Just a one payment every month. And that includes everything.
One payment.
For 2 years.
For 2 years, one payment.
Okay, and all you have to do is pay every month.
All you have to do is pay.
And
yes.
service.
And service, yes, absolutely. Really good point. You are still responsible for looking after the rental that you have. Just like when you rent a house, you are responsible to, not throw paint on the walls. Same sort of. Yes, the same premise you maintain.
Okay.
After what we said, all we need now is we need the listeners to come in, give us a call, submit the application, and we can give you an answer within 1 day.
Yes.
Is that correct?
And that doesn't cost them a cent.
No fees, absolutely zero fees to submit your application. We have a team of guys that are available to assist with us. And I also want to address specifically, if we send you a PDF, for example, and you don't have somewhere to print it out and fill it out, we can assist with that as well. I have a lot of the guys that are doing, applications over the phone. Okay. As long as we have the consent of you on the other side, yes, please take down this application. I'm happy for you to to assist me here with, we can absolutely do that for you. And it's an easy process.
All right.
Yes, Rob.
Let's start off at the beginning. What the age that the person can have? So he obviously needs a license for a year.
Yes.
Work. How long does he need to be in his job? So if I've 2 months now in my work, can I apply? Even though I've been a year before in my previous work. So I think we need to get those specs out then. How is it? I've just started a new work. I'm only 2 months in that. I won't qualify, obviously. I need to be within a certain time.
So again, because we score, well, FlexiDrive score individually, it's really going to be on an individual basis. So these are blanket questions, but very difficult to answer, because we're going to have a look at you as the individual. I have had cases where Flexi have asked for a contract of employment, and then approved the person based on that contract.
Okay.
So there are many very different, unique situations. But the point that I really want to drive home is that unless you fill in the application, go through the process, it's really the only way that we're going to get you the exact installment, the exact deposit, and then you're able to plan financially. I can't really give you a blanket coverall plus minus. That really doesn't help you as the individual, because you're the one sitting with your finances at the end of the month going, can I afford this? Can I afford that? And you need exact figures to work with. So it is only after the application process that we can really give you those figures for you to work with.
What happens if I'm 6 months in and I can't afford the vehicle? I'm retrenched, something happens. What happens then? Because I think a lot of the listeners will want to know, do I get my initial rental back, which is okay, what do we can say, the deposit? For a lot of people to understand out there, we all use the word deposit. We know we can't use it for that. It's initial rental because it's a rental. What happens after 6 months? Do they fetch the car? Do they pick up the car? Do I drop it off? Do I drop it off? Do I get my money back? What happens?
Again, super valid question. I can't answer it specifically, but I do know that there are ways and means to end the contract early. There might just be a penalty fee. So the deposit is not refundable. It is an initial rental fee that you do not get back.
Okay.
In the same way that when you put down a deposit on a vehicle in conventional finance, they do not give you that money back when you sell that car. If they did, I would be very happy because I have often put down deposits, and that deposit.
Yeah, I think the initial rental fee cover for certain things, roadworthies, tracker systems,
Correct. Yeah.
service of the vehicle.
Yeah.
So it's not something that you just pay and you lose. You get something back. But I also understand if you give your car back in 6 months' time, you can give it back, but you're going to lose your initial installment. So I think it's very important when you buy a car, make sure you can afford it, because you sometimes want to buy car A, which is 12 grand, but car B, which is 7.5, suit your pocket better.
Yeah.
So, but we as the Signature team will help you with that. We'll tell you, sir, this is too much for you, and we'll put you in the right vehicle.
And I think it's a good thing if we just mention there, what you'll know better, is that I think people, when they hear, oh, you got a warranty, it's just, there's a warranty, stop. There's tracker, oh, there you start. There's a fee to everything. I mean, when you fit a tracker, the tracking company is asking for your amount of money. When you start a warranty, there's a lay down of money that you got to pay because you're buying that warranty.
For sure.
So people out there forget when you're saying you've got all this stuff,
So true.
you're paying up beforehand. So that's obviously what they're asking that money for, so that people can understand what it is. We must remember that people out there are just clients, and everybody buy a car every 4 years, maybe on average.
Yeah.
So they're not doing this daily like we are to understand
Yes.
there's costs beforehand, and so that's why you're paying this initial rental. You pay this initial monthly rental to cover those costs as well, which is because somebody has to cover it.
100%. That's so well said.
I would suggest that any customer that wanna go on the subscription vehicle, come and visit us, because it's not something that you can tell a oak in 10 minutes time.
Yeah.
Come and visit us, sit with us, that we can get you the right car at the right price, at the right monthly premium. So come and sit, that we do a proper qualification, see what you can afford, see what we've got, and get a agreement. You know, most people think if they apply at every bank, they're gonna get somewhere along the line, they're gonna get approved. That's the worst thing to do, because every time you apply for credit, your credit score go down.
Yeah.
And people don't know that.
People don't know that. They come
So
from the top of North Rand Road, they apply at every dealership.
Yeah.
By the time they get down to us, their credit score drop by 100, 200 points. So don't do that.
Would that also be if you're applying for a cell phone contract or a furniture or a clothing? Does that also affect that scoring?
Actually, I know.
Yeah.
It does.
Any credit you apply.
I never knew that, huh?
Amazing.
Amazing. Okay.
It's school day.
Yeah. Would you subscribe to a car instead of owning one? Why or why not? Let us know.